on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sportscast. Expect the unexpected.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk presented by The Sportscast.
The Jersey Boys Sports Talk with Victor Arocho and Byron Jones. And here's your host, Victor Arocho.
Yo, let's get ready to rumble live out of Phoenix, Arizona, and Lancaster, Pennsylvania, traveling the world. Welcome to the Jersey Boys Sports Talk, hosted by Byron Jones and Victor Arocho. Brought to you by The Sportscast. Today's August 15th, 2024. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to The Sportscast on all our channels, YouTube, Twitter, Spotify, iTunes. And if you're on iTunes or Spotify, just look up the Jersey Boys Sports Talk podcast. Please leave us a rating and review. It'll help us out tremendously. Smash the like button on YouTube if you like our show. You get some great information. We leave some data. We leave some spreadsheets on picks, on teams, on rankings. I think it'll help you on your fantasy football. We stream live every Thursday at 8 p.m. on Facebook and YouTube. So welcome to the show, Mr. Byron Jones. How are you doing today?
Wonderful today. How are you?
I am hot in Arizona. Is that dry heat? Again, like I told you, dry heat is hot. Dry heat. Also, welcome to the show, Mr. Papa Paul. Mr. Papa Paul, welcome to the show. He is one of the hosts for the WCFL Dolphin Talk Show. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome. So we got a wild packed show. How's it over there, Byron? How's the weather over there?
It's been like in the 80s, like low 80s, mid 80s, like the last 3-4 days. So that's a good thing because 2 weeks ago, it was cooking right here.
That's crazy. Like we were talking before the show, when we were talking, a little bit about what we're gonna do on the show. Paul, he made a true statement. I didn't realize it. So I'm coming back from dinner. It was like 9-10 o'clock at night. It was still 100+ degrees at night. It Miami goes down in the morning and goes down in the evening. It doesn't go down here.
No, it doesn't.
100 and something at 9-10 o'clock at night. And it's almost like you're in a sauna. You breathe in, you can feel all that hot air. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's crazy. It is crazy. All right. So let's get going. All right, Byron. So I want to talk a little bit about let me bring this up. Tell me what's happening over there. I'm hearing some stuff that I got to bring up, but Dolphins training camp, how's it going over there? What is happening? We know about Nabers, but let's go into that one first.
Yeah. Let's see. He got hurt. He hurt his ankle, but he's fine. The running back Tracy that did pretty good the past game. He hurt his ankle, in training camp. The all-time Alabama bust, he finally came off the injured list, Evan Neal. He's practicing now. He's fourth string. They have what else is going on? Yeah, Jordan Phillips, one of the guy that originally was vying for one of those positions on the defensive line. A rare trade in the division, which is to the Cowboys for like either a 6th or 7th round pick. They traded him. So it's been kind of interesting. They released Jalen.
What did we get for the trade? So we just traded for what?
Like a 6th or 7th round pick. That was it. Nothing, crazy.
So the biggest news in Dallas is they got a trade from the Giants.
Yes. And that CD Lamb is still sitting home.
What is the deal with us trading in division? Like what is going on? I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't care what people say. These guys are on the hot seat. I can't imagine them doing the moves they're making if they don't succeed, or at least have a decent season, look like they're on the upswing. I still think they're going to be gone. But let's talk about Nabers.
He's back to practice. At first they thought it was a little bit more than what it really was. That he tweaked his ankle, but he's fine. He's back at practice. He's walking through stuff, and he's really not full go live. So it's just wait and see. You gotta remember back in the day when OBJ tweaked his hamstring, we didn't see him for like 4 weeks, going into the season or whatever it was, however long. He's an LSU guy, so expect him to probably drag it out a little bit long.
Well, he's back though. I mean, at least he's playing, right? He needs to come back, so that's a good sign. My biggest concern is, we gotta. I don't know if I want to keep bringing it up, but the field is an issue there. I mean, it's just too many players are getting hurt. Papa Paul, one of your players got hurt last year. One of your star defensive players. How many
Jalen
times?
Phillips.
Right? How many times are guys going to get hurt for them to do something? And they had a chain. Fins up. Okay, Timothy Washington, welcome to the show. They're gonna have to change the field for soccer.
Yeah, and if they were smart, they would just split the cost and keep the field grass then.
Exactly. Keep it grass.
That would make too much sense.
And they got to change it for soccer. They have to change it for soccer.
Well,
so
FIFA
why not
is
keep
supposed
it?
to. As of right now, from what I know, FIFA is paying for the whole change.
Really?
But when they're done, they're tearing it all out.
What sense does that make? You're going to spend millions of dollars putting that nice grass down, and you're going to take it all out. That doesn't make sense.
FIFA is doing it all on their own. The Giants and the Jets don't want nothing to do with it. Now, if they were smart, the two teams would combine and split half the cost with FIFA and keep the grass.
And
that's if they were smart.
But then they turn around, it's used grass, so they can get a deal for it.
Yeah, let me tell you, but it's got to be costing. I can't imagine how imagine the Dolphins. The Dolphins are having a good year. They they were already getting injured, and then they end up losing Phillips, a star player. If I was Dolphins, I'd be complaining. If I was any other visiting team, I'd be complaining about, you're risking my star players to go play a lousy, and I still love my Giants. We're going to play a Giants team to risk getting hurt. There's too many players getting hurt.
Well, look how many players get hurt on their own teams.
Look at Joe hooked up Joe. He's right. They have to come up with a better alternative. I agree. They got to come up with. There's too many hurt. We have so many receivers every year for the last 5 years doing this show, Byron. And every time you list them, 80% of them have hamstring problems.
Yep.
And it can't just be conditioning.
Yeah, but they're not practicing on the main field. They're practicing on the practice facility. So maybe they got issues with that. That's where these guys are tweaking the hamstrings and whatever, with the Giants guys.
That's true. Yeah, but these games, but the players are getting hurt on the field, like Rodgers, Phillips. I mean, these guys got played on the MetLife field. And Timothy Washington is stating he thinks in the next 10 years, there's too many injuries. All teams are going to have grass. That's interesting.
People just don't want to pay for the upkeep, as far as like natural grass or whatever, and if you have a lot of different, like back in the day in the Orange Bowl, they had high schools playing in there, pro team playing in there. Everybody played the Orange Bowl. Everybody played back there.
Yeah. But that's the big deal these days is the upkeep and maintenance of natural grass, especially when you get in the northern areas.
Yeah, and it's not just the up. It's the utmost part of the upkeep. It's also making it look nice. It's hard when the grass gets torn up in the winter and the rain, and then you have to make it pretty again, right?
Yeah,
but they do it on golf courses. But
yeah,
but
don't
running on it.
I'm not sure. I think the field like in Arizona, I think they have it like where they put out it comes all the way, it slides out, and then when they need to replace it, they just replace it with like the patches of grass or however they do it. But they take care of their grass like all year round, with the Cardinals. It's some kind of weird way that they take care of their grass. I gotta look that up.
No, but it's true. Like, by the way, we forget about that too, because it's true. They're saying a lot of times in the stadiums, they have more events than just football. So it becomes a problem when you're having concerts there and you have to put stuff on grass, right? The stability, the liability. So,
Miami still does it though.
Yeah, that's true too. And we have a lot of stuff at Hard Rock.
Yeah.
It's got to be something they're rolling out.
Well, I mean, they have sod. They literally have sod that you roll out.
Cardinals it moves outside the dome. Okay, we grow.
Yeah.
It's on wheels. Yeah, they put
Yep.
stuff on wheels. I know. I just think that it's costing teams, players when it counts. I think the Dolphins got hurt last year. You got already hit injuries. Having Phillips out at the end of the season. Look at Rodgers, 4 snaps and get hurt. Remember Daniel Jones got tackled and he woke up and he had all those black dots on his helmet of the
Yeah.
tires. Right. That was terrible. All right. So anyhow, anything else of significance happening with the Giants, and hopefully we get something. How's Daniel Jones? They starting to pick up a little better because I've been,
Well,
last week spoke that they still said he was a little rusty, but he's injured. He's got to take a little bit of time.
but they said he looked good this week. He's got the beard going and everything, and they're saying he's got that dog mentality in him now. That, he's going to prove everybody wrong, that he's not a bum and, he's a $40 million a year quarterback. So, they're saying he has a different vibe with him this year. That, he's got, and look, if you ever see a picture of him, he has a beard now. And it's like, look at this, man. He still look like a 12-year-old, trying to grow a beard.
Well, us athletes, we're superstitious, so we got to make it when something isn't going right. You want to change, so adding a beard to you maybe changes the game. You know what I mean? Before we get into some of the stuff we wanted Papa Paul to be on, let's talk about what's up with this Reddick dude. They trade for him. He's a good player. Why wouldn't he want to play for the Eagles?
Oh,
I mean, they got a good defense. Oh, the Jets. I'm sorry, the Jets. He came from the Eagles, right? Sorry, I got that wrong. He came from the Eagles, and he came from the Eagles, right? And then he went to the Jets, and that I thought that was a good move. And now he doesn't want to play for the Jets. What's the deal with that?
Money. That's it. That's the bottom line. I think he's like at $15 or $17 million a year. And most edge rushers are, Nick Bosa is at like 34, 35 million. He's up whatever crazy amount, and all those guys are getting paid to edge rushers. He's underpaid, for the things that he's done, the last 4 or 5 years. But the Jets sort of knew something was up. If Howie Roseman is going to get rid of this, not get rid of, but hey, you take this guy because he wasn't going to pay him. The Eagles, there's no way it was going to happen. But it's not looking good, as far as him playing for the Jets, because they're fine. It was $50K a day, or whatever the crazy amount is. I think it's like $50K a day.
No,
a day.
I think they should find him. I mean, if you get traded there, but this is getting crazy with the money. I mean, at what point do we think it's? I mean, because listen, Tyreek Hill had a good deal when they signed Papa Paul. Well, let's get all right. Let's get out of Reddick. It's not so big of a story there. So let's get into some of the stuff. We're gonna get into the training camp, but since we're talking about this now, we're gonna go. Let's talk about Hill's contract and Tua's. But because I want to get your opinion. We did speak about this, but we'll talk about Hill's real first, and then we'll talk a little bit about training camp. Papa Paul. We'll go to that next. Okay.
Yeah.
So Hill. When Hill signed this contract, that was a really good contract, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And everything was fine. The second Justin Jefferson and these guys started getting paid, I made that comment. I'm saying he's coming back. Hill's going to come back for more money because, I mean, he's going to come back for more money. We had this conversation. So what are your thoughts on that? I mean, he got paid, but what are your thoughts?
There's really it's pretty much just more money. The contract itself is nothing different in the contract.
Really? So what do you mean nothing different? They up the guarantee. They up the ink. Yeah, I mean it has to be.
They up the money is all. They up the total money, and he can still be out after 2026.
So what
the contract is still 3 years.
Okay.
Either way you look at it, 24, 25, 26.
Okay.
They gave him more money, so I forget what he's getting, but they gave him a signing bonus, of course, guaranteed money and up the total money, but for like this year, it actually brung it down a little bit for this year.
Wow.
as far as the cap goes.
So it increased his deal over 4 years to 106 million compared to I can't see what it was before. I think it was less. Still signed a 4-year deal for 120 million contract extension to a 4-year deal for 120. He's been the barometer for the highest paid wide receiver at 30 million in the offseason, which along with Jefferson and all these guys. What was his contract prior? It was 100. No, they're only talking about the current one. So I think they upped his guaranteed money and they upped his total package. They just kept the time different same.
Yeah, exactly.
So he got the name, but still he got more money, right?
And you know what? I'm fine with that because he's proven himself.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm fine with Hill. Tua is a different story to me. I mean, personally, I wouldn't have gone through with the contract, but it's a double-edged sword, whether you do or whether you don't. I mean, he got the money, great for him, but all in all, he has to perform to get the full amount of the contract. It's not fully guaranteed. He's not getting as much money as others. He's not the highest paid unless he fulfills all the incentives.
Interesting. So they built in more incentives in there, right?
Yeah.
So,
and there is an out after 3 years.
So Scotty, one of our listeners right now is he made some good. He says all we did is we moved $9 million from last year and guaranteed the next 2 years. That's all we did. He said so. No, he said, and then he said no. The $9 million more he got was from the last year of the contract. They just moved it up a year.
Yeah, that's Hill. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Hill. So really, they just kind of
Scotty is extremely knowledgeable. I mean, having him on your show one day, talk Dolphin stuff and all would be great. He's extremely knowledgeable.
You're always welcome to the show. Hit us up afterwards. Put some comments how we could reach you. All right, buddy. So that's interesting. So all right, well then the Dolphins did a good move. Then I was just concerned that remember we were talking about last year. You guys were having good, but you're gonna have to pay, and then you paid Waddle, right?
Yeah.
You paid him a good amount of money, and then everything started going up. It just starts getting to the point where you're on the brink of getting back to where the Dolphins we want the Dolphins to be, right? And now everyone's hands are out, so that can really throw a wrench in the game plan, right? Yeah, Byron.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a hater now. Okay, Tyreek Hill is 30 years old, right? So why would you give 30-year-old, maybe 31 during the season, wide receiver, that kind of money?
Why not? He hasn't shown any progress of really slowing down hardly.
Yeah, but it could fall off the wagon just like that.
That can happen to a 24-year-old too.
You're absolutely right, but he's 30. That's the difference.
And you have guys out there that are still 37, going to be 38 this year playing
as receivers.
A receiver?
Well, as linemen. And linemen they're battling it tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Tyreek's a receiver. He's not going to get hit the way a lineman's getting hit every single play. And those guys that last 37.
Exactly. He's not going to get hit like a lineman gets hit from another lineman.
And Tyreek doesn't like to get hit.
And Tyreek really doesn't get hit.
He doesn't get hit.
No, he doesn't.
He ducks. He goes out of bounds. He's smart. I don't think I've ever seen. He's gotten some good hits. Don't get me wrong.
He has been hit a few times. Good, but he's got not
like regular receivers. Like he's too fast. He gets out. He gets out. I don't blame him.
He doesn't get spun like a helicopter and stuff.
He's not that big of a guy, but he's super fast. I think he makes his move, he goes down. If he can preserve his body, I would do that.
And plus the fact it was, as Scotty says, he's considered the number one player in the NFL by his peers.
Right. And if they restructure it in the manner that, in other words, Byron, I agree with what you're saying, but the way Scotty's mentioning how they did it, they moved money around. Overall the contract was what he had before. They just moved.
So they
Yeah.
just kicked the can down the road. That's what they did.
No, they moved up money. They kicked the can up the road, so they paid him more up. They're giving him more earlier. That's what it seems like is they're doing.
Yeah, they took $9 million off the back end, gave it to him now.
Yeah.
He had, before this restructure of the contract, he had no guaranteed money after this year.
Right, and they upped the guarantee money, so he got
Yeah.
they're going to pay him, but he just got more guarantee. Overall, the contract seems to be relatively the same, except for it's more swayed beneficial to him. And in football, Byron, you know better than anybody else. You want to grab as much as you can. Like you said, you're 30 years old. He can get hurt.
He can
So
be out. I mean,
so on the reverse side of what you were saying, he needs to protect himself.
Okay, I feel better now.
Okay. So tell me, what do you think about Tua's contract? Were you happy with that? Were you concerned? Did you want to wait a year? Where you at?
Well, I'm happy it's done and over with, but I personally wanted to wait a year. I wanted to wait a year. I want another year of healthiness. I wanted another year of I'm not even concerned about the healthiness, really. I want another year. I want a prove-it year that he actually can win the games that he needs to win.
Yeah, I would. I'm with you. I would have said the same. I said the same thing prior to him signing.
But I'm actually extremely happy that they signed him, because at the same time, if I said it, I was heading down to Miami in my car and I was doing a show while I was driving down there, and I said that they will have him signed before Sunday's open training camp, because they were not going to want a hoopla of people there with signs saying sign him, don't sign him, sign him, don't, going back and forth and everything.
Yeah, that would mess with him too. But I'm with you. Look, first of all, you remember when I went on your show and I even talked with you on our show. I was happy to see him play a full season. He played well.
Oh yeah.
Which bothered me is now the other team, the other players got hurt. Like, you can't get a break, right?
No, we were riddled with injuries last year, the last 2 months of the year.
Which kind of hurt. So, I would have liked to see another season, but then you just got to prepare yourself, because also the downside to that is if he has another blowout season, now he's going to be paid $50-60 million, or even more than he's getting now.
That's the double-edged sword. If you didn't pay him this year and you waited the next year and he balls out, then it's going to be closer to the $60 million mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but everybody's getting paid. Okay, Trevor Lawrence. For 2 seconds. Trevor Lawrence got a big old fat contract, and what has he done since he's been in the NFL?
Who?
Trevor Lawrence. No,
he's the one who set the frenzy. That's the problem. Like, Jacksonville did that. Like, it's like Justin Jefferson deserved it, but once he got that contract, that's where everybody started coming around. If Justin Jefferson didn't get that contract and all those contracts out, I think Tyreek would have been happy, or he would have got one more money. But because Trevor Lawrence gets this contract, now it just became open season for quarterbacks.
Yeah, because his is based off potential. It's not what he's done. His is potential. And then we got our guy. I'm gonna talk about him again. Giant fans went crazy when they gave Daniel the $40 million, and now he's like the 15th or 16th high paid quarterback right now, and they still complaining about it.
That's a discount.
Well, you know what? We actually had an Atlanta Falcons fan on our show last week, right before the game, and because we don't pay it, you pay attention to Giants, we pay attention to Dolphins. We don't necessarily pay attention to what's going on in these other teams. We're all the same. You got half the fan base that is excited for it, the other half of the fan base that's unhappy about it. And it's all teams are like that. It sucks, because really, if you're going to support your team, you should support your team no matter what's going on.
No, it's true, but I think, like with us, like let's say with the Giants, right? For me, I'm looking to all these people. With the Giants, I'm okay with everything with Daniel Jones and all that. I wasn't really too concerned about that. But But when I see teams like the Dolphins and them making their run, look at Dallas is in a bad situation. You know, you guys have had he had a pretty good season last year. I think you have potential to get better. You have the players to play better, right? But now when money starts to have to move around, you know, it becomes a challenge. I mean, look, San Francisco's got to make a run this year because they're going to have a problem, right? They're going to have to pay Brock Purdy, right? They're already having problems with Brandon Ayuk.
Well, I like with the Dolphins, I am, from what I've watched over the years, Greer is actually a guru with the contracts.
Mhm.
He knows how to move money around, shift the money in and out, and I don't worry about it that much with us.
Well, Timothy Washington made a good point. He could see. He was asking, who do you think is going to want to restructure next? He's saying David Long and Jalen Ramsey. What could be next for now? They're going to want to restructure their contract. I could see that, particularly with Jalen Ramsey, because remember, you know, I was having this discussion with a few. I'm at a conference with a few of the guys the other day regarding that. I think the next, you know, how free safeties, you know, the safety position is going the way of running backs, where the value of the safeties are going down, but the value of the cornerbacks have to go up because, you know, if you're paying receivers $30 million and plus, the guy covering them has to get paid. Jalen Ramsey is a good cover cornerback. You know, you want me to cover a $35 million receiver, you know, I can't be making $16 million, you know, $20 million. They're going to want to, I think, how high do you think the cornerbacks will go up? Do you think they'll go up to 75%, 50% of the receiver market, Byron?
Oh, it's going to go up. It's got, because you figure you got Jalen Ramsey, you got Sauce Gardner. You know, he should be on deck real soon. And these guys are going to be in the mid to high 20s. They got to be, because you figure, like you keep saying, you know, you got a $35 million wide receiver you got to cover, and they'd be like, hey, you know, you got to pay me to cover this guy. And it's going to, with the cornerback position, it is definitely going to be an issue real soon in the next year or two.
Interesting. Yeah. So back. So we got a lot of comments coming in. Let me tell you something. The Ramsey restructured here. Someone made a comment: Dak to Denver or Indy.
No.
Yeah. I don't know if he'd go to. I don't know if I was the quarterback, I wouldn't play for Sean Payton. And no. I don't think I would go to that division if I was a quarterback. And if you were Dak, and then Indy's not that bad of a move, but you know, I don't think they have all the pieces there.
Well, they got the young quarterback. They have a young quarterback to hire, Anthony Richardson. That's supposed to be pretty good. The kid they drafted last year that was hurt, and he's not.
Yeah,
you know, he's all right.
Interesting. All right. So we got some good stuff coming in. I'm trying to keep up with the comments, and I'm trying to answer you all, guys. Tua's strength limits his reads. Tua's arm. There, a comment from Raphael Cartwright. Tua's arm limits his reads. What are your thoughts on that, Paul?
No. He's actually, his arm strength has improved quite a bit, and I mean, I was at the whole first week of training camp, and there wasn't anybody waiting on a ball from him. You know, he was out in front of him. I mean, there was guys that couldn't reach the ball.
Yeah, and not only that,
he's improved on everything.
Yeah, but McDaniel's offense is quick reads. He gets the ball out fast.
Yeah,
like he gets the ball out really fast, and you know, yeah. So I think he'll be okay.
2.3 seconds.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? Remember, Byron, I was waiting to see what happens, and I thought you would think that. So I was wrong. I'm gonna admit that I was wrong. Okay, or maybe I'm not. Maybe you guys will correct me, right? But I really thought that from the Browns. I'm so tired. I'm losing my mind. The quarterback from the Browns.
Deshaun Watson.
I thought Deshaun Watson, if he did well, everyone was going to follow. If he didn't, which he hasn't yet, they were going to say he was going to hurt the quarterback market. And apparently that didn't happen. Because Deshaun Watson, do you agree? That was they got screwed, Cleveland. Unless he does something this year, that's a bad deal. I mean, he's got $250 million guaranteed.
Yeah.
Papa Paul. I mean, do you
No,
think that was a good deal?
No. Oh no. God, no.
And I like Deshaun Watson. Don't get me wrong. Beforehand, I'm not his offseason stuff, but I'm just saying, I thought he was a good quarterback. I thought he would do well. I didn't like the contract. I thought it was a risk contract. I was thinking, hey, you do that, you're going to force the hand. Why would I pay if I pay guaranteed all this money before? It didn't pan out here, Byron. It didn't affect the market. And then here's the funny part: is his deal didn't affect the market, which I thought it would, and Trevor Lawrence's deal affected the market. And both of them may not pan out. What are your thoughts, Byron?
I don't know. And then we've talked about this. I'm gonna bring this one up real quick. The guy that has the greatest agent in the history of football is Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins. And then for the Atlanta Falcons to turn around, and they were talking about this too, the draft a quarterback, that high. When you already paid this guy $1 billion, and he's going to make it $1 billion. The quarterback market is just crazy now. With everybody's got to have that guy. Everybody's got to pay that guy, and then you got Dak. That situation. You got Jerry Jones. His franchise is worth $10 billion and won't pay the guy. And it's crazy. It's just a quarterback-driven league. That's all you can say.
And it's a receiver-driven league now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there was I seen an article where there's someone talking about after this season, Kirk Cousins getting traded. After this season?
Don't say that. He's going to get another $2 billion contract. If I was Kirk Cousins, I'd want to get traded every year.
Well, that's the talk, already.
This guy, he's got I'm telling you, his agent is the greatest agent ever. They should make a movie about him. I mean, this guy's won one playoff game. One playoff game, and he's about to surpass Brady in earnings. He's the highest paid quarterback in earnings to have never won an MVP or a Super Bowl. Or made it to the conference finals.
Nothing.
Not conference final, conference championship.
Nothing.
That's the guy with eyeball test. Ball floats. Raphael Knight. He's not a big Tua fan. He's saying
no. There's a lot of people. Raphael's not. There's a lot of people that aren't big Tua fans still,
and that's okay, man. Sport is the art of debate, right? We're not here to, it is what it is, right? You're gonna.
Well, it's to each their own opinions.
Yeah, and then look, it's for him to prove him wrong. I threw some nice balls, like balls that I never thought he just threw that was perfect, and the guy caught it. Because it sucks when he throws a good pass and they miss it.
Yeah,
Tua's like a point guard. That's his job, is to get the ball out of his hand and get it into the people that are going to make plays. That's his job. That's the only job he has, and he can't fail at that. And he does. He has Waddle. He has Tyreek Hill. They got the running back. They have all the things around them where he doesn't have to be.
We have the problem of a high quality 90-man team right now, and it's a good problem to try and figure out what your 53-man roster is going to be. There's going to be a lot of heads turning on when they start seeing some of these names not making the 53-man roster.
Yeah, but then there's teams that have the opportunity to pick them up, right? I mean,
look at Pierre Tart's already been released, and he's already been picked up by the Chargers.
Yeah, let me tell you, the chat is going. I want to say thank you to my people in the chat, members in the chat. They're going at it within the chat.
Yeah.
Can you guys see the chat or no?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, good. All right, good. Can you comment? Why can't you? Well, Byron, you're a tech disaster.
I can comment. I can comment on them.
Yeah, well, they're pretty good. Well, I'm trying to keep up with them and listen to you guys at the same time. But I like the stuff that's going on, man. They're just coming. Hey, I like Anthony. I forgot about Anthony Richardson. So that's the other thing. That's the other reason why I wouldn't think Dak would go there. Anthony Richardson's going to be good. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. I like him. Interesting. So again, I'm with you, Papa Paul. That I would have. It was a double-edged sword. That was my comment onto it. If you don't do it now, you may be paying him a lot more later. If you don't do it now, it's going to be too much talk going on that can cause some distraction. If you do it now, damn, you're gonna say he hasn't done anything, and let's pray nothing happens to him in the first 6 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And you're gonna have Dolphin fans coming out. So you guys are in a really, really tough position. Would have been great if he would have done a lot of stuff in his first few years. You know what I mean? Because then there wouldn't have been a problem there. But just, I don't think it was a really tough situation in that Tua situation. Yes, Byron.
Remember what we used to do? What we used to call him? We haven't said that in 2 years. Fragile. Remember
Fragile. Well, we haven't called him that. I got to give him credit. We had to pull that tag off him because he proved us wrong last year. He didn't get injured. He didn't get concussed. He didn't. You know, he did his job. The sad part is the rest of the team got hurt. You know what I mean?
I mean, the last 3-4 games, whatever, we're pulling players off the couches to come play for us.
Yeah. Well, and so what's going on with OBJ? Do you think OBJ is legitimately hurt? I mean, by the way, we didn't get a chance to talk to you. I think he's a good third option for the Dolphins. He's not going to hurt.
I think he's a good third option, yeah. But this whole thing, I mean, how does Jalen Phillips come off the PUP list before he does when Jalen Phillips had the Achilles?
He's younger.
Yeah, but OBJ just doesn't want to practice is what it comes down to, I think.
I think so, too. I don't think he wants to practice. I think he's just, buying his time. But, he proved his worth when he was with the Rams, and Cleveland just missed. Cleveland is just a bad organization, in my opinion. I feel bad because they got great fans. But to deal with Watson, then all these other players and how they handle Mayfield, and then to have Odell Beckham for 2 years, and then he goes to the Rams and gets more touches, more targets, and more receptions in half a season than a year and a half with Cleveland. Something's wrong with those guys. And he was effective in the Super Bowl.
No, I agree with you.
He got injured at halftime.
I mean, really, you look at – we could have – let's say Hill and Waddle out there and OBJ, and then you put Jalen Wright, Mostert, or a Chan in the backfield. That's 5, 9, 10. And then like Julian Hill or Durham Smythe in the backfield. The defense isn't going to know where the ball is going to go to.
Yeah. Because at least with Odell, he's going to catch the ball. He doesn't drop. You know what I mean? So it's not like, and he's at the age that he knows he's not the number one receiver there, right? And he ain't getting paid. The two guys they're paying have to get targets. And Waddle's been putting up numbers quietly, like he deserves the money. He did everything, but he's put up really good numbers.
3 years, 3 1,000-yard years.
It's quiet ones because you don't even realize it. You know what I mean? Because everything's spotlights on Tua and spotlights on Tyreek Hill.
And the thing about it is, with the speed we have, one thing I'm looking at is all these players that we did 1-year contracts with. They're going to play, and they're going to play their asses off to try and get that last big contract for themselves. Because a lot of these players that we gave 1-year contracts are older players.
Uh-huh.
So they want that big contract signing next year. So they're going to ball out.
Scotty, you're signing off. So you want to join our show? Let's connect, or we'll connect you with Papa Paul. It was great. Thanks for your comments. I think that I think, like I said, I think OBJ would be a good piece. People think he's hurt. They think he's not hurt. But I think he just doesn't want to practice, right? I think he's just going to ice it. They're getting older. These guys don't want to practice, right?
How was Bradley Chubb coming along?
Bradley Chubb's looking good. I've watched him on the sidelines, dragging chains, throwing the medicine ball, all that stuff when I was at training camp, and he's looking good.
Didn't you guys draft the outside linebacker too, I think? Did you draft one?
I think so. I
gotta look that up. I think they did.
Well, Kamara wasn't. Isn't Kamara the outside linebacker? He was like 5th round draft. He was expected to go sooner than that, and he's been playing with a chip on his shoulder.
Everybody wants to get paid. Let's see. Outside linebacker.
Daddy's saying Chop Robinson.
There you go.
Chop's one. That's right. Chop was expected to get picked sooner. No, he went in the 1st round, Chop Robinson. Chop Robinson's the one I said would be our 1st round picks.
Because I knew you got Calais Campbell. He's been playing forever.
38 years old, 6'8", 311 pounds.
Yeah, Chop. I'm sorry, we just mentioned Chop Robinson.
Yeah. No, Calais Campbell's a big old boy, and he's healthy as a horse.
Yeah, I think you'll be fine. Again, I go back to what I said. I'm going to say it again since we're getting to the season. I was talking to a few Dolphin fans here. I really like to see. Here, let me take this off so we get your names on here. I really like to see the tight ends get involved in your game plan. I think that'll help out quite a bit.
I think we're going to actually see. Last year we only kept 2 tight ends. I think we're actually going to keep 4 tight ends this year.
Mm-hmm.
And Smythe, Jonnu Smith, Julian Hill. Yes, Smythe, Jonnu Smith, Julian Hill, and
Jody Fortson.
I don't think we're going to keep him. I think it's going to be Tanner Connor. Jody Forstner has been dropping a lot of balls in training camp.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah. No, not when you have enough players on there to pick from. Right?
And that's a good problem, which we haven't had in years.
They got on here Tanner Connor. Is he still with?
Yeah.
Oh, the tight end. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're looking good. Well, that I guess you must be happy with Reddick giving problems to the Jets.
Oh, I'm fine with that. I the big thing is I don't necessarily. For us, we play the Jets twice in 4 weeks, and it's the last 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah. By the way, Raphael Cartwright was saying Jay Smith, the tight end, was dropping some balls as well.
Yeah, he has. But there's something they like about him. I actually said it when it was the first Tuesday of open training camp. I said if they were to make the 53-man cut, then I said Jonnu wouldn't make it because he couldn't catch shit that day.
Yeah. And then Scotty was mentioning that he feels you should keep Tanner. It's just there's no way you're going to end up keeping 4 tight ends. It's too many tight ends.
Actually, not really, because they're only going to keep 2 quarterbacks. They're not going to don't have to worry about keeping that 3rd quarterback this year.
Really? They're going to take a risk on that? They instituted that because they're worried about the risk.
But you look at our quarterbacks first of all, the backups. One of them will stay on the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him getting. We got Mike White and Skylar Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Skylar played pretty well for him.
Yeah, Skylar. I think Skylar's actually going to be our backup quarterback this year. Mike White, whenever I watched him play this year, hasn't been able to hit the broadside of a barn.
And he did come from the Jets, so
yeah.
Yeah, Cartwright thinks they're going to carry more running backs, and like you said, keep 2 quarterbacks.
No, we're going to carry 5 running backs. That's including our fullback. Where last year we carried 6.
That's a lot of running backs.
But last year we had 5 running backs and a fullback. That was 6. This year we're going to have 4 running backs and a fullback. And
that's interesting because I view you as a passing team, like and you guys didn't stay on the field long. Like you had lightning plays. You know what I mean? Like you were scoring, but you were scoring so fast that the defense is getting tired.
And I understand that, but I think we're going to have more running this year than we did last year, especially when it comes down to the last 2 minutes of the game and stuff.
I think you should run. Yeah, I think you should. Yeah, I think you should
I
do.
mean, we
I
picked
think you
up.
should. I think you should play your game, but you got to get some running in there to give your defense some time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
Because
yeah.
Especially when it starts getting cold.
Yeah, because you're running too much of the big plays, right? And
Well, I mean,
it becomes a 3-point team.
If we weren't going to use our running backs, really, why would we pick up Jalen Wright from Tennessee, who's been making statements in training camp and preseason?
By the way, Raphael said every running back got hurt last year.
Yeah, they did.
So that's why you're carrying a lot. But still, I understand that when you said why carry, why would we carry if we're not going to run? You had a lot of running backs last year, and you still threw the ball a lot.
Yeah, we should have been running the ball when he was trying to throw third and short. You run the ball. You don't try and make a dinky dunk pass or anything like that.
Yeah, and you need more possession time, right? You need to keep the ball, right? You got to hold on to that ball.
Oh yeah, well,
and you had a couple drives that I was super impressed that you drove all the way down the field. Those were great. I mean, that kills the defense. Playing defense. You know what I mean? Quick plays. Oh, shit, I messed up, man. That guy beat me. Byron, what do you think, right? But, man, when you're getting driven down the field as a defensive player, it's demoralizing. You can't stop it. You can't stop anything. You're tired. You're getting your butt kicked. I mean, it's a long journey.
Yeah, but what is the biggest problem is, like, they figure they got to go to Buffalo in the cold. You know, it's going to get cold up there. They got to be able to run the ball.
New England,
you got to be able to run the ball, you know, November, December. And the Jets, you got three places that they're going to play that, you know, later on, whatever they play in later in the season, they do have to be able to run the ball. And even when
the Buffalo game won't be that late in the season.
Okay.
That's the only one that's not that late, but we do have Green Bay on Thanksgiving.
It's a little chilly.
We have Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then we have the Jets, like in the second or third weekend of December. You know, up in the Jets. So yeah, there are some cold games we do have to worry about.
Well, he's just saying that you get the cold games is just you're going to need to run the ball more, right? So why not get some practice on running the ball?
Well, I agree with that. I mean, it's run the ball, eat the time up.
Mm-hmm. And all right, so we gave some good Dolphin time for you, Papa Paul, today. All right, let's get into Brandon Ayuk. What do you think? I told you, I still think the Steelers got a shot at getting him, and I think he's gonna make the Steelers a better team. And they were saying that so that's one. I want to get your opinion on that. And number two, you know, they were talking about John Lynch. John Lynch says they got him pretty good. You know, like there's no reason for them to do anything real quick right now because they can franchise tag him later. They can do a few things. You know, they're in a pretty decent position. I don't think they should lose him, but you know, I think the Steelers are still in the ball game to get him. What are your thoughts, Byron?
Is he a $30 million a year wide receiver, Ayuk? Like, honestly, is he 30, 35, you know, the numbers between 35 and 30, is he that kind of guy? Is he the guy on, you know, with the 49ers right now? No. That's, you know, Kittle, McCaffrey, and Debo, Samuels. Those are the guys on that team. But I wouldn't pay him $30 million. But then if he goes to Pittsburgh, what are they going to give up to get this guy? And when he goes to Pittsburgh, is he going to be the guy? Are they going to still have Pickens? Because Pickens is there, and he's pretty good, that kid. And if he goes to Pittsburgh, is he going to be the guy there? Is Pittsburgh going to pay this guy between $30 and $35 million a year? That's the problem.
They're saying that right now they're saying that the numbers is sitting around $28 million.
Is he a 20? Okay, is he a $28 million a year receiver? Honestly.
I like him. I think he's good.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think he's that good.
But he's only getting paid 12. He's getting paid under $13 million right now. He's worth more than $13 million.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he
But
put up some good numbers.
28,
28.
I don't see 28.
Okay.
Okay, so they're going to give him $28 million. They want a 1 this year, and they want a 3 next year for him. So is he worth that? A 1, a 3 the year after, and $28 million. Is he that kind of guy? Is he going to make a difference for them to win their division?
I think that's too much. But I think the Steelers are pretty smart. I don't think they'd give up that much. I think they'd rather.
You're going to have to give up something to get him.
I think they're going to give up something. Let's see what they got here. Let's see what the Carter Corner Sports Illustrated. But I don't think he's up in the 30 million. But I think he'd be a good fit with them. I think he need. On the 49ers and try to strike it out, but they're saying the 49ers got some leverage there. Like they're like, hey, I got a lot of the pieces. You're under contract. They can do an extension later. They could franchise tag them later. The Patriots offered a deal in excess of $30 million, so they're offering them the numbers, man.
Let's see. Where would I rather go? Let's see. New England Patriots have a rookie quarterback and Jacoby Brissett, or go to the Steelers and you got Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. I might roll the dice with Russell instead of going to with the Patriots. The Patriots are going to be a mess.
I'd rather go to Tomlin.
I think it'd be the Steelers over the Patriots.
What's their first year in the coach? Yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, here we go. I'm stuck a little. All right. Well, anyhow, I just wanted to bring that up, see what's going on, because I think it's still hoovering around. All right. What do you think about J.J. McCarthy's injury? Now, think about it. The Giant fans were upset because they wanted us to draft him. We would have been sitting with him on the bench and still having Daniel Jones and Drew Lock.
Sam Darnold's going to be the guy. That's all I can say about that one. Sam Darnold's your boy.
Is it your guy you've always been rooting for, Sam Darnold?
No, my guy is Zach Wilson. Don't mess
Zach
up.
Wilson, that's right. They're both terrible, but that's all right.
Come on now.
But J.J. McCarthy, him being injured over there, I think Sam Darnold will do fine, and you got Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson will do fine there, but it's just ironic how Giant fans are all upset because they wanted us to go down and draft him. He ends up getting hurt, in preseason, right? At least Daniel got hurt in the game playing.
It's. Just looking at the comments, Johnny O was saying that Fields was actually practicing as a receiver today.
What?
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah.
You said that, Byron, that you thought they'd maybe use him somewhere else. I didn't think they would, risk that, but maybe. But you never know with Tomlin. Maybe they're just doing it as a ruse. You know what I mean? To make teams prepare for that.
Yeah, might as well. Hey, you can be receiver, running back, kick returner. Who knows?
Because think about it. I wouldn't either. But think about it. Anytime there was a quarterback, like whether that would be on the field, but wasn't in the quarterback position, the teams were always concerned. Like, okay, is this going to be a flip play for a pass? Is it going to be a legit? Is this a decoy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's always, if he comes in motion, do they flip him the ball for a flea flicker? So I could see that, but I think it's more of them, ruse or just trying to figure out what they're going to do with them. I don't know.
Look what Raphael Courtwright's saying. Do Vikings take flyer on Ryan Tannehill or trade for a quarterback that's on the trade block?
Nah. Roll with Sam Darnold.
Tannehill's not a bad, they
got the backup quarterback is Nick Mullins. He played for the 49ers for a little bit. He wasn't that bad. Mm-hmm. Jaron Hall, I think it was he came from BYU, I think, or somewhere. And that's the quarterback they got on, the roster right now. So, but I would go ahead and roll with Sam. But Nick Mullins is the backup. Why waste a draft pick? Who knows?
Well, I wanted to bring it up for a couple of things. You know, you sign the top paid receiver, and then you lose your quarterback that you draft. And then the other thing is, you know, how Giant fans wanted us to go down and draft and pick up J.J. McCarthy and you know, have him instead of Daniel Jones. But, you know, look at the situation we're in now. So I just thought, you know, hey, look, I agree. You know, it sucks for any quarterback, especially a rookie getting hurt. You know what I mean? But, you know, going to the Vikings wasn't that bad. What bothers me is when a top draft pick quarterback goes to the lousy team and gets hurt. Like, that's just like inevitable. You see that, you know what I mean? It's like, that's it's disheartening because it's like you play so great in college and you come out and it's almost like you don't have a chance, right? You're going to get beat up fast, right? Unless, you know, you wait and you buy them some time. Interesting. I don't think the Vikings will make an attempt for Tannehill because they didn't do it last year when Kirk went down. That's true too.
Then he got one on here. Joe, it's a Colt. Joe Flacco. I thought he retired.
No, Joe Flacco. Once he came back, he's staying. They saw how he put up some good numbers. Why wouldn't you take him as a backup? With the way the quarterbacks are getting hurt, I would pick him up. He did well with Cleveland.
Forget getting hurt, man. He's gonna get about what, $5 million a year, man. Stood on the sideline. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, but that's pennies now for quarterbacks.
Yeah,
but you know what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly. He's sitting there on his butt making $5 million a year.
I was always told that is the best position in football, the backup quarterback. Because you're barely getting hit in practice. You're making in the millions, right? You're watching football. Yep. You know, and you know, there's a lot of quarterbacks that got Super Bowl rings, and there's a lot of superstars that don't. You know, so it's like one of the best positions in football. I'd take Flacco over White or Skyler. It's interesting.
Oh,
Flacco did have a good year.
I stand correct. He signed a 1-year contract for $8.7 million.
Oh man, come on! That's and listen, he was on and talk about how life can turn for you. He was watching football for Thanksgiving last year.
Yeah.
Okay. Last year, he was eating turkey, waiting for a turkey to come out like us. You know what I mean? And now he's getting $8.7 million.
$8.7 million.
Wow. They were talking about what about Marcus Mariota from Washington? He's with Washington. Is that Scotty? Mariota. I'm not a big. I take Flacco over Mariota.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I'm not a big fan of Mariota.
Yeah, me either. I don't think he's really done much. I mean, he's done okay, but, you know, Flacco's got a Super Bowl. Flacco's always put up good numbers. He's tall. And, you know, for him to come off the couch to produce the way he did, that was impressive, man. Give us old guys some cheer.
And don't forget the one most important thing, Mr. Victor.
Exactly.
He's a New Jersey guy.
He's a Jersey boy.
He's a Jersey boy. South Jersey.
He's a Jersey boy. That's right. All right, let's start wrapping this up. All righty. So, look, what do you think about Kaepernick is being offered by Harbaugh to come to the Los Angeles Chargers as a coach? We talked about that, you know, in the green room.
Yeah.
What do you think, Papa Paul?
I mean, if I was him, I'd take him up on it, actually. What's he got to lose?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, and you know, kudos for someone at least giving him a chance to get back in the game.
Scotty said if Tua goes down, I'm calling Brady.
Brady's working out.
Brady's making 37. He's making more money as a broadcaster than he did as a quarterback. He'd be crazy to come back on the field. He's making $37 million. He's making Justin Jefferson money guaranteed for 10 years, not getting hit. But back to Kaepernick. What do you think, Byron? What would you do? What are your thoughts?
I'm sure he has other contracts and making money doing other things. What position is he going to coach? He's going to coach quarterbacks. What is he doing? Or it's just he's hiring him for the sake of hiring because Brock Purdy's a better quarterback than he is right now, than he's ever been. And not to bash the guy, but why were you going to hire the dude? It's been 10 years or however long. Oh well, I got a job now. You're here. They've done you wrong. Let's come back to the NFL. Come on, you don't need that distraction. Not Brock Purdy, but Justin Jefferson. I mean Herbert down there in the Chargers. Come on, I'm gonna listen. Let's see. Justin Herbert is gonna listen to Kaepernick. Come on, nah.
Yeah, well, they didn't say what kind of coach. He's going to be quarterback. I mean, look, when Kaepernick played, he played well, so it's not a matter of that. But Harbaugh's Harbaugh. Harbaugh knows what he's doing. And the fact that he's extending an offer, to Kaepernick to get him back into football. One of the commenters said the news media would have a frenzy. It would make him back in the name. Maybe get something. You know what I'm saying? Because he kind of got the raw end of the deal of trying to make a statement, right? But he kind of just crushed his career.
It backfired on him.
Yeah. Johnny O goes a kneeling coach. Yeah, that would be a problem. That he'd be released right away. I don't think as a coach you'd have that same luxury to do that. But look, kudos to like you said, to Harbaugh to even think. I don't know, how real or how it's going on. It just was in the news. Kaepernick has been coming up. And then someone made a comment. Well, maybe it's if something happens in Justin Fields, does he come in for injured reserve? But I don't know. I just think some of it may be hype, some of it maybe not. But it's nice to see a coach trying to give his player an opportunity, right? But why didn't he? But he could have done that at the college level. To me, it would have been easier.
No, not really. No, you figured alumni and all. No, that probably would have been a good idea.
Oh, yeah, especially at Michigan.
Yeah,
not in Michigan. Yeah. Very good point. Very good point. I retract. I forgot the school and I forgot But if it was in Michigan, do you agree it would have been easier bringing him in college coach and then bringing him back up into the NFL to bring him right into the NFL and no coaching experience, and he hasn't played for a long time, but he's smart.
If it was at one of the schools that he first, like San Diego State, he probably
exactly.
But Michigan, no,
not with Michigan players there. No, it's not going to happen. All right. Well. Good evening, Papa Paul on the WCFL fan panel. Thank you, Crazy Dolphin. Thank you. I'd like to thank all the comments. Raphael, Timothy Washington, Scotty, Jotty O, Raphael Courtwright, Crazy Dolphin. I said Scotty, Timothy Washington. Thank you, Papa Paul. You bring some nice group of people to come to the show to have some comments. I can't keep up with both sides going back and forth. So I really appreciate it. Papa Paul, it's always a pleasure you have us on. So listen, this is the most Dolphin we talked about in our show in 5 years, right?
Yeah.
That's how bad the Dodge Giants are doing.
Yep.
We got very short headlines until the season starts. Papa Paul, tell us about your awesome show and when can we reach you? The WCFL Dolphin Talk Show. Tell us how they can reach you.
WCFL Dolphins Talk. We're on Wednesday nights. We start at 8:00. Saturday nights at 6:00. Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. So we'll be having some tailgating shows going on. And then Monday afternoons at 5 p.m. All of them are hour-long shows. They can go on longer at times, but we're on Huddle Sports Network, which is on Roku TV and Amazon Fire Stick.
That's awesome. All right, so we're going to put the links to the show, to the WCFL Talk Show. There'll be links to the bottom. Please go and listen. If you're a Dolphin fan, if you're a sports fan, listen to the show. They got a good group there. You'll get some battles. Be prepared. But they got a great show. Papa Paul, I'm going to try to reach out to you before the season. I may try to get a couple tickets to meet up. I'm gonna tailgate with you guys.
No problem. Sounds good.
Sounds good. I'm gonna meet up with the crew. Maybe we'll do a live podcast from the stadium.
Awesome. We'll do.
Mr. Byron, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you for everything that you do. Disgruntled New York Giants. He's got a new title every year, every week.
Yep.
All right. Don't forget to subscribe to the Sportscast on all our channels and look at the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. We have our podcast. We are here live streaming on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter or X every Thursday at 8 p.m. I would like to thank all our people that came on and make their comments. Thank you, gentlemen, for a show and putting up with me. Raphael, always a pleasure. Listen, we like to talk to everybody. We like everybody to listen to the show. Sports is what brings communities together. We really love what's going on. So, gentlemen, you have an awesome, awesome night. Thank you, Papa Paul, again. I also would love to come back on your show and talk a little bit more. And we're looking forward. It's great to be. It's great to be in a place and look up on TV and there's a football game on, even if it's a replay or something.
I agree. Yeah,
it gives me a little bit of comfort. All right, gentlemen, y'all have a good night, and we'll be talking soon. Take care.
Peace, love, and fins up, everybody.
You got it.